This is TempleOS. We're going to look at the flight simulator and the first-person shooter. Control M gets to your menu. We're going to go down to the icon for the flight simulator. Okay, now I'm running a frame grabber, which is saving the screen to disk 8 times a second. The screen is updated 30 times a second for the monitor. Anyway, so this is a flight simulator. It's supposed to be an eagle diving for fish. It's a little more exciting than a 737. Anyway, so I'm using 6 cores. I wrote all the routines all the way down to the triangle fill. I did that all by hand. It doesn't use a GPU. Now we're going to look at the source code. Eagle Dive is what it's called. My source code has graphics, and it's 8-bit. So you have the Greek letters. This is the 256 characters. You have infinity and theta and phi. Anyway, so it has the Greek letters. Now, I don't do SMP. I do master-slave multi-core, which is better for real time. What I want to do is I have 8 cores or 6 cores, and I want to assign a strip in the foreground or background to the different cores. And I want to divide it in 6 pieces and give it to 6 cores. SMP doesn't tell you how many cores, and it doesn't let you divide it up explicitly. It shifts them around between cores. If you have 5 and then 1, that's not the same as 6 at one time. As a matter of fact, I have an 8-core processor, but I use VMware with 6 cores because VMware sometimes steals a core. And 7 and then 1 is not the same as 8 at the same time when you're trying to do something real time. So now we're going to look at the first-person shooter. It has graphics and source. I made a mesh editor for 3D graphics. It's really tedious, so I don't do anything too complicated. You could do a lot more polygons. So God said 640 by 480, 16 color. So I dither, and I do a random dither to get shading. So this is the source code. We're going to run it F5. So God said they're dancing. It's little monsters. Here's a potted plant. You can see the shading. So this uses 1 core. I could use multi-core, but what do you do when other people run it on their machines and they don't have that many cores? You have to divide it up in a way that degrades. It's a real problem not knowing how many cores the target machine is going to have. I could specify 2 cores. I think all 64-bit machines have 2 cores, almost. There's some that don't, but that would be a much better situation. So that's the flight simulator and the first-person shooter.